Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is November 21st, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Can you spot that atmospheric river? It is out here moving into California. This is Tuesday afternoon. It's still with us. It's going to be with us for a while more. And again, look at this mid-latitude cyclone, otherwise known as a bomb cyclone. The bomb cyclone just means the rapid pressure drop within a given 24-hour period. But that usually correlates, of course, with the very strong storm system. Hit some of the Pacific Northwest very hard, and the atmospheric river is indeed a potent one. If I scroll on in here as we go on in towards Tuesday night and into Wednesday, you can see just the continued track of this atmospheric river across much of places just north of the Bay Area. You see the filling of this system that starts to retrograde back to the west, but that, of course, keeps the axis of the atmospheric river over Northern California. We're also going to have additional mid-latitude cyclone development back in this region, right up the coastline, rise the snow levels a bit, but then we're going to bring a frontal system down across some of central California, include the Sierra Nevada with some snowfall, some heavy rain possible for some portions of the central coast. Not like what you're seeing across Northern California right now, which I gotta warn you, just because you're not seeing flooding now does not mean the impacts are still yet to come. Things are becoming very saturated across the region. And as we go through the weekend and towards the early portion of next week, we're going to have additional storms moving in further south that will be including potentially Southern California as we go. So I can continue on, and then you can see this is about where we are right now. Again, mid-latitude cyclone development coming up the coastline yet again as we go through the day today and tomorrow. And this is kind of the running Doppler radar loop all the way since yesterday afternoon. Just relentless heavy precipitation for some areas. Very brief breaks in some of this action, and you can see it's just continuing as we go on in through very early this morning. We're scrolling through now, and we continue on, and yeah, big time atmospheric river. And there comes our next storm system out here. It's going to be spinning up off the coastline and moving up towards the Pacific Northwest, but that's going to keep California fairly wet. Now, I'll scroll through this fairly quickly because we've been talking about it here, but you can see as we go through the day today, there's that next mid-latitude cyclone up towards the Pacific Northwest, still trailing in that atmospheric river across much of the state of California. We scroll off in towards Saturday morning, and this will be weakening, moving south. Some precipitation may work its way down to Southern California, but we have better chances as we go on in through the day Sunday. You see the next system potentially pushing in towards the Central Coast or the Bay Area, and then as we go into very early Monday morning, you'll see some of that precipitation and some of this moisture targeting Southern California as well. So hopefully we can bring some down there. Let's try to make it not too fast and furious though. Now, we do have winter storm watches, and I am showing you this one because this goes from Friday afternoon through Tuesday afternoon. Winds gusting 50 miles per hour, 1 to 4 feet possible, and the lowering snow levels here as we go on in through the day on Friday, tomorrow, and over the weekend, and then we'll bump it back up again as we go through the early portion of next week. But also we have an avalanche warning for portions of Mount Shasta, so it's a good resource there, avalanche.org, highly recommend it. They put out things like this, the avalanche warning. You can click on the map and it'll give you more information, and you can see the forecast discussion, all kinds of good information. They have observations and whatnot. And they do talk about this atmospheric river, and the human and natural avalanches are likely and may run long distances into some of the lower terrain. Now, Sacramento also calling attention to the snowfall potentially coming up this weekend. You can see moderate impacts, chain controls, travel delays possible, 4,500 feet. The snow level could be dipping down towards as we go through the weekend. And again, look at this, 23rd through 26th. So this is still yet to come, Saturday through Tuesday. Now, flooding potential, and again, just because you're not flooding yet here across portions north of the Bay Area does not mean it is still yet to come, including some of the burn scar areas. So be very careful out there. And once things become saturated, it can get really crazy really quickly, and we still have high and moderate risk across portions of Northern California. A lot of rainfall still yet to come. And there it is. This is for today. You can see Eureka right here, and coastal areas included, and the high risk is where the nasty stuff is expected, and moderate risk as well across a wide area, and some slight risk out there also. So when we point out high risk, you can see that the high risk days are a big deal. A third of all flood related fatalities occur when we have these high risks up, and 4 out of 5 of all flood related damages are during these high risks. So moderate's pretty good as well, but yeah, watch out if you are in this area. Check out your local forecast. And they do have some strong wording here in the excessive rainfall outlook about life-threatening flooding across the coastal areas of Northern California. Very strong, long-duration atmospheric river. And again, things are becoming very saturated, so the debris flows and the most extreme flooding could still be ahead of us. Rock and landslide activity and the threat for burn scar flash flooding. And this is Sacramento talking about, they updated this here this morning, and you can see additional huge precipitation amounts across the region. And eventually this will be sagging south, including the Bay Area and, Stockton, Modesto up over an inch as well. Now, this is day 2. So you see we still have some moderate out there. Slight does creep into southern Oregon as well. But yeah, and then day 3, marginal. Day 4 and day 5, I keep watching to see if maybe they'll introduce a little bit here for some central and southern California, but not quite yet. We'll see if that changes tomorrow. Now, I'm running through the European last night. These are 3-hour clips, and you can see, again, the very potent atmospheric river. Mid-latitude cyclone goes by and kind of keeps that precipitation going on in through Friday morning. Finally get a little bit of a break here for extreme northwest California as this area of heavy precipitation starts to sag south across the Bay Area, moves down some of the central coast, and that's when the heaviest snowfall is going to be flying as we go through the day tomorrow on in through Saturday morning. We scroll through, and then some precipitation trying to make its way down towards Southern California. Then we get a little break from that one here, and then maybe additional cyclogenesis, mid-latitude cyclones. We've got to watch for late breaking waves here moving towards the central coast and the Bay Area, and these could be bringing rounds of precipitation down towards Southern California. And then it looks like an additional slug of moisture moving in there. Also, additional mountain snowfall as we go through the early portion of next week. We'll be watching those systems closely. The model's been back and forth on just how strong some of these systems are moving into Central California, but confidence is increasing for these storms moving a bit further south across the state. So if we take a look at about the 75th percentile, this is last night's European model. I'm going to show you this here. There's just extreme amounts of precipitation on already big amounts of rainfall. Here we go through about Saturday afternoon. You can see trying to include Southern California, Central Coast, starting to get some bigger rainfall amounts as we go through Tuesday morning. So we got to watch out for this. Could start to get some heavy precipitation down towards Ventura and Santa Barbara County, and of course the coastal ranges here. And man, that's the park area, burn scar area is right in this region here. So hopefully this is not about to start getting nasty across some portions of Northern California. Accumulated 10-meter max wind gusts. So here goes our next system, and you can see some of these big wind gusts here. Once you get into the greens, I mean, you're looking at, 34 miles per hour plus. So these are some fairly hefty winds out there at times, especially for the coastal ranges and for the ridges and the higher terrain of the Sierra Nevada. And maybe some of that trying to creep down the central coast as we go through, Saturday here as well. And maybe additionally as we go through next week. Again, we'll watch those systems and see how strong they're going to be trending in the model runs coming up. In total snow-Kuchera ratio, we're getting a little bit of a break here as we go through tonight, but then watch as we scroll through the day Friday. You'll start to see, Friday afternoon actually, and then we start to scroll through Friday night. Now into Saturday morning, you can see some of the heavier snowfall working down the mountain chain here towards the southern Sierra Nevada as we go through the day Saturday. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Kind of still got that below normal look here towards the west coast. And then we got the 6 to 10 day. We need a break from Northern California, so let's hope that comes to fruition. Channel's doing nice. We're getting towards 30,000 subscribers here, so click like and subscribe if you would. We'll check it all out again tomorrow. And I have another La Nina/ENSO, El Nino Southern Oscillation video coming up. We got all new data on what is to come as we go through the fall and the winter months coming up here as well. So I'll probably be doing that at some point today or tomorrow. But otherwise, I hope you guys are having a good day. Stay safe out there across Northern California and be alert. Bay Area, South, Central Coast, and Southern California. Be sure to check back tomorrow to see what the weather models show with additional mid-latitude cyclone development moving into Central California. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you then.